shameless plug incoming. Today's episode is brought to you by the book Everyone is a Sinner But Me, available now at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Pre-recorded from Volpes Studios, it's the MCS1 show featuring Caleb Hanna, and now your host, MCS1.
Welcome everyone to another exciting edition of the MCS1 show. I am MCS1. Once again joined by my dear compadre, Caleb Hannon. What up, Caleb?
Just chilling on my satellite still.
Just on the satellite. I didn't even mention via satellite.
It's okay. I did.
You sound so depressed and bitter
I just
wanted more out of life than just a black abyss, both figuratively and literally.
The hard thing about being up here is, there's only so much Netflix you can watch.
Yeah, I know. Stranger Things only has 2 seasons, and after that it's all BoJack Horseman and Arrested Development, and then what are you gonna do? A bunch of documentaries.
I guess I could rewatch Archer for the 30th time.
Yes, totally. Well, everyone, today we have a very interesting show. Today we're going to be talking about Black Friday. And by Black Friday, I mean Black Thursday.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the one that starts on Thursday night?
Yeah, you're like, this is not what we discussed, Mark. No, so
you changed it.
You changed the show. Like,
what, did you delete 30,000 emails too?
Oh gosh, might as well. Yes, we have an emailing list, people. Go check that out at the MCS1show.com.
Seriously.
Sign up for our emailing list. Caleb and I were discussing our notes, as we commonly do in our Discord channel.
Yeah, it's called prep time, people.
Prep time, yeah. I'm sorry that we actually prepare for the show, kind of. And
I don't want to make it sound like it's something that it's not, but we do prepare a little.
Yeah, hours go into this. It's kind of my life's work. This is paying the bills, or I hope. Anyway, and so we were talking about this. It's like Black Friday, but it comes every year. And we talked about with our War on Christmas shows last year. Christmas comes every year, which means Black Friday comes every year, and it's pretty much turned into Black Thursday now.
Yeah, and very soon, let's be serious, it's going to change into Black Wednesday, Black Tuesday, Black Monday. Eventually, it's going to be Black, week, and then maybe Black Month.
Oh my gosh, seriously!
And then
Black History Month is going to have some conflicts with the month of November. And it's just going to be a shit show.
Exactly. It's it's great, I guess.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Black Thursday was actually a real day. Do you know about this, Caleb?
No, but it sounds amazing. So go ahead.
Oh, it is amazing. Amazingly terrible. Black Thursday occurred on October 24th, 1929. It was the first day of the stock market crash, which spiraled us into the Great Depression.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So, that classic quote, those who don't learn history are damned to repeat it and some shit. Black Thursday is making its rounds, people. It's coming back.
Yeah, Black Thursday. Well, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be quite this bad. Plus, this one was in October.
Yeah, and also, a few other things. There's just not enough. From what I can tell, and I'm not an expert or anything, but from what I've seen, the market, it would take a lot more to crash the market now because people don't depend on the stocks for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
from my 60 seconds of research on Google, I've determined Caleb is correct.
Oh, okay, cool. It's really funny though. So, The Simpsons actually took a big shot at that. So do you remember the episode with Angry Dad when Bart was getting really popular on the internet with that?
Yeah. That's Yeah,
They paid him with stock shares, right? So that was actually a shot at a little bit of some of the people in the Great Depression. That's how they would pay people. Instead of giving them money, they would give them shares.
Oh
And you could
boy.
take shares to banks and stores and exchange it for money, basically. You know?
Ah,
And that's actually one of the things. It was
Disney
a
dollars.
saturation. Yeah.
The
Exactly.
Disney-
Exactly.
The Disney dollars of the 1920s.
Yeah, no, it's just a saturation of that in the market, and then it's just like, oh well, then if the market goes down, what do? Well, you lose everything.
It'll never go down.
I
Oh
mean,
boy.
but no, I mean that's the thing is it's again, it's just a dependency on one thing. That's why I mean today it's all about diversify. You know, you want
You gotta diversify your funds, people.
Yeah,
Don't rely on them Disney dollars.
I mean, unless you
1920s bank tycoon.
yeah.
Where's my pocket watch?
That's like the Monopoly guy's great grandfather. That's what
Oh,
that
I
sounds.
know. Seriously, get off Baltic Avenue, you bums. So moving away from the actual Black Thursday and now modern day Black Thursday.
Yeah, which is just so disrespectful to call it that. Let's be serious. Those
I
people lived with nothing.
I know, seriously. And now for Black Thursday, you can buy everything. My, how
Yeah.
times have changed.
Yeah, it's just a funny slight, I guess you could say.
The contrast is kind of ridiculous.
I mean,
Like, so ridiculous.
I mean, it's really funny. I was actually talking about this with a friend of mine today. You know, the term poverty has definitely changed. You know, I mean, things that were a basic human right / necessity in the 1920s and 30s are now like, well, you should have that. It's expected. But
You
now,
should have an iPhone. That's expected of you.
But that's the thing that's so funny. You know, it's like we talk about people living below the poverty level or whatever else, and it's like, but I mean, when you relate that back to the, you know, the time of the great stock market crash and Black Thursday and all of that, you know, it really puts it into perspective where it's like, you know, you don't really need a TV. You don't need, you know, an expensive phone. You need food and shelter and clothes. You know, and those are the things back in the day. Those are the things that put you below the poverty line. You know, but now it's like, nah.
It's like when you
don't have an iPhone or an equivalent, you're poor and you're impoverished.
So,
like, all right.
Oddly enough, where I work, my day job, it is it's at a college. I've kind of made that known. I've always kind of been in the college scene. I'm kind of like Van Wilder, but made it a career.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? It's like I show up, I'm like, hey, you guys going to the pep rally later and doing some tailgating? So the RAs had an activity of like writing on like these windows that we had, like these little glass windows. It's like, what are you thankful for? And some of them were making like little hand turkeys and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, why don't you go up there and write what you're thankful for? And I was kind of busy that day. I mean, it was I was really busy, and I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I was like, nah, I should participate. You know, I should help out. So I went up, and one of the hand turkeys that was on there, I wrote like a word bubble, and I wrote gobble gobble for him. And then I get to like the what are you thankful for? And I put my iPhone. I mean, it's kind of true though. Is the thing. I'm not a Mac nerd, but I love my phone. Like I really do. Like I got my reminders on it, my schedules, my notes for the show, all my music, my books, my podcast, audiobooks. I mean, I'm kind of a phone power user. Uber's on this thing. I love Uber. I mean, I'm pretty thankful for my phone. But
I mean, let's be serious. It is very convenient to have.
It is very convenient to have, but is it a need? Debatable. And this is coming from a phone power user.
Right.
But let's talk about wants and needs with Black Thursday, because apparently there's all these sales going on that people just think they need this stuff. Like your kid or your family needs a new TV that you are willing to camp out for. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it's just silly.
The campers, I mentioned this in our War on Christmas episode. I think it's worth mentioning again.
Definitely relevant for sure.
Still relevant. Couple years back, for back when I lived in Utah, the Best Buy there were people camping out there, I think as early as Monday, for a Black Friday sale.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
And it just kind of, I don't know, it made me sad because it's like you're missing a ton of work for the sale, or maybe they don't have work. Who knows?
I mean,
I'm just giving them the benefit of.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Like, that's the thing. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, it's just sad.
Yeah, seriously.
And so I thought about, this little family. Is Daddy coming home for Thanksgiving? No, he's camping outside of the Best Buy. He's gonna get us a really baller TV, Timmy, like a baller TV, like you would not believe, with 4K. It's gonna be 4K, at least 60 inches, and it's gonna look awesome. And he's like, God bless us, everyone. It's a terrible version of a modern day version of the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, seriously.
Bob Cratchit's out camping for a nice electronic device, but that's the thing. Black Friday is getting earlier every year. Now it's Black Thursday. So I wanted to go into the definition of Black Thursday, besides the one that we talked about with the stock market crash.
the one that's not like the real one. That's like sad.
Yeah, this is more of the relevant to this. So this comes from the Urban Dictionary, the ultimate source of knowledge.
Indeed.
And Black Thursday, also known as Thanksgiving. Wow, that just paints a picture right there, doesn't it?
That is terrible.
The process of greedy retailers moving their formerly Black Friday sales to late night to sell useless Christmas junk. These greedy money tycoons are using customers as the premise of ruining one of the greatest American traditions by telling us we would rather stay up late and shop on the holiday than get up early and go shop the next day, requiring employees of said institutions to miss out on family gatherings and football. Wait, there's a difference.
I mean, who cares about the football part?
Yeah.
Besides, like, most of America.
Yeah.
But other than those guys.
Yeah. So to miss out on family gatherings and football, to go chase corporate fat cats' almighty bottom line. And then here's the context it's being used in. Dad, why are you crying, honey? Dinner was perfect. Mom, I'm crying because Dan is missing his first Thanksgiving dinner ever because of that stupid money-grubbing corporation turned Black Friday into Black Thursday. The most likely of scenarios.
That is the most likely of scenarios. I mean,
if anything, I picture the dad being gone.
Right. I mean, what kid? Well, I mean, unless the dad was like, nah, I don't want to go. I had these kids for some reason. You guys better go out and get me this stuff.
Yeah, seriously. But it gets earlier every year. And sales get weirder every year. It's never anything good.
Well, that's the other thing about it, too, is that it's like the good products are still not really on sale.
Yeah.
Like that, or at least that much of a sale. There was a funny thing. My wife and I actually did this. We compared the coupons in January with the deals on Black Friday, and the coupons in January in general for the better products were better.
Oh, jeez.
But it's because now that product is technically quote unquote last year's model. You know what I mean? And so the coupons, like if you really want to get a good deal on something, wait till January.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing. Or just wait till Cyber Monday.
Yeah, also a good one.
Yeah, I like Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is awesome. There's no lines.
Yeah, number one.
Like, there you go.
No lines, and I mean, unless you're buying from Craigslist, which, let's be serious, if you are, you're not a good consumer anyway.
Yeah, at that point you're asking to get scammed.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't know, man. I occasionally, this is because I'm a weirdo, but occasionally I'll go on Craigslist just to see what people are selling. And there was a guy on there trying to sell his house for like $1,500, and I was like, there's no way this is real.
Yeah, the thing about Craigslist, it's fun to look at, but it's not fun to interact with.
Oh, heck no. No.
Like, seriously.
No, that's the worst.
It's
man.
like kids playing Magic the Gathering.
Aww.
It's fun to watch, but you're like, I'm not getting into this.
Hey, I like Magic.
I'm staying over here, man.
No, that's cool. But funny, just a little side thing on the Black Thursday thing. I had a friend a few years ago post on Facebook back when I used to, get on a lot more. But he posted this thing, and I thought it was pretty funny at the time, and it made me think, and then I was like, holy crap, he's right. But what he posted basically was, oh, Black Friday, the one day when companies charge us what they should charge us year round. And I was like, wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
And then I got depressed and, started drinking.
For Black Friday, I like what Cards Against Humanity did one year. They ran a special where they charged more for their products.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they actually sold a bunch. Like people just thought it was funny, and they're like, "I'll get in on this." And so they did. And like, here's the thing: I'm a huge Cards Against Humanity guy, and like I get like every special. I even got like the Cards Against Humanity bullshit special, where they literally give them $5 and they send you some bullshit, like from a bull. And I totally did that.
Oh my gosh!
And
see, that's genius marketing, though. It's like, oh,
well, I was just like, I just got to do this just to do this, and I gave it away as a white gift one year.
Sure,
it was well worth it. And then, I liked that like Black Friday promotion because it's insane, it's creative, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Humor.
Humor instead of these crazy sales that people are trying to shove down our throats. Here's the other thing. So Black Friday is just known for its sales. I got a killer Black Friday sales story. So I know this guy. I've talked about him a little bit, kind of on the show. Not too much. A little bit here and there. I always refer to him as Craig. For those who wonder, I'm gonna have a show with freaking Brianna again sometime soon. And we're gonna be talking about this Craig guy.
Nice.
She had like a little pseudo relationship with him.
Oh, that's
it's really funny.
Okay.
Well worth mentioning. But so Craig, like he was just like not one for patience or anything. And he kept telling he was working full time, and he kept telling us, he's like, dude, I'm going to school in 2 semesters. Like, just watch, guys. And we're like, okay, yeah, whatever, Craig, type of thing. And he always kept saying, like, I'll go to school in 2 semesters. And then he was talking with one of my friends, and he's like, dude, bro, I think I'm gonna go buy a new computer. And it's like, well, why do you need it? Well, he goes, well, I'm gonna need it for homework and stuff, And it's like, well, dude, you're not going to school for 2 semesters. Why would you buy a new computer now if you don't need it for 2 semesters? Like, why not wait until, you get closer and that type of thing?
Yeah,
that
like
just makes
when
sense.
you start school. Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah, I mean, 2 semesters away, like what? That's like 9 months. I'm guessing. And the guy's like, "Oh no, man, I really need it." And he's like, don't do it, man. And he's like, okay, I won't. And this was a week before Black Friday.
Oh, boy.
And he goes and he buys the computer. Like, dude, bro, I totally bought the computer. And it's like,
you were like, dude, bro, you're totally an idiot.
Yeah, and he's like, it's pretty awesome. And it's like, my friend's like, why did you do that? Black Friday is literally a week away, and you're not going to school 2 semesters. You go, no, dude, check out the deal I got. It's gonna be awesome. And like, he would not shut up about it. Apparently, like a week later, it was like $100 to $200 off. Same damn computer or whatever. And he also just bought it to play video games on. And it wasn't even like a good gaming computer either. But that's like my favorite thing though about Black Friday, Black Thursday, or whatever, is it just these people, they're so desperate to blow their cash on something. It's like, I mean, they'll just go out and blow it regardless of whether there's this excuse.
Yeah, well, it's like one thing. Okay, one thing that my mom told me growing up, thing that she she would tell me this all the time, just about with different things. She would she would say, I'm like, and she would just say, just as a thought thing, like, hey, I want you to think about this. Are you more excited when you have more money in savings or more money to spend on things? What excites you more? And it's just like that's a good way to think about finances and things like that. And it's just like and at certain points, it's like obviously obviously you have to spend money on certain things, like you gotta buy food
Yeah.
and like a place to live and clothes or whatever. But other than that, it's like, how excited are you to put $100 in your bank account rather than take $100 out? Like what makes you happier, that kind of a thing. And it's like clearly for this kid, it made him a lot happier to get the thing and lose the money, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, that's just silly. Just silly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes him happy, and
Right.
could have easily gotten
A week later.
I know, a week. My favorite thing about that came out of that was about this guy, and he makes fun of Morpheus, and it's like, what if I told you Black Friday was only a week away? And the best part was he even told him that, and it didn't even matter.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
well, what are you gonna do, I guess?
I know. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I have nothing else to say about Black Friday. Caleb, do you have any words of wisdom or stories you would like to impart?
Yeah. Actually, I will tell you about my experience last Black Friday.
Oh boy.
Because it is totally, honestly, kind of counter to the norm. But it's because I went out on Friday, not Thursday.
Okay.
So Black Friday actually now is very calm, where Black Thursday is super crazy. So, and it's really funny. So my wife and I we actually went out last year on Black Friday, and we went at like 6 in the evening. So it wasn't even like, early morning, whatever's. And we got everything that we wanted to get, which wasn't much anyway, but we got the things that we wanted to get, and it was like there were no lines, there were no people, and they still had stuff. So I'm kind of like, I kind of miss the crazies. Because there was one year when I actually saw people like getting trampled and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I always joke that I want to go to Walmart and not buy anything, but just start fights on Black Friday.
Right.
Because it's just that ridiculous. Gosh, I kind of forgot about that because it has been kind of calm lately. But I know this year that's going to change. The other thing about Black Friday is, for me, on Black Friday, I took it as an opportunity to hang out with friends like later that day because the roads were clear.
Right.
Because everyone, went out early in the morning, did crazy stuff, and had to go home and sleep. But we went in the afternoon or like mid-morning, and the roads were clear. Like we would go to museums and stuff like that. Like one year, my friend and I, we went to we were in San Francisco visiting his family. And we went and we rode the train to like I think it was like the Union Square there. We saw Occupy. We walked around to Chinatown, and we saw it. We didn't go see Alcatraz, but we saw it from where we were at by the pier. And then we went to Ghirardelli Square. And then on our way back, our train got stopped because Occupy was on the tracks.
Oh,
and so our train got delayed, and then we waited till it started again, and then it went by an Occupy camp. My friend's like, dude, you want to go check out the camp? I'm like, oh yeah. And we totally did. And it was really cool. And that was like a really productive Black Friday activity. And like, it was way fun. We didn't go to any crazy sales. I think the only thing we bought was food.
I mean, why would you not?
Exactly. And then another year, same friend, we were back in the Midwest for Thanksgiving. And we went to like an Air and Space Museum, and there's this bridge that like goes across the Missouri River that only pedestrians can get on, called the Pedestrian Bridge, and it's kind of cool. It's like on the border of Iowa and Nebraska. We went and got on that. We went to the zoo here. I mean, it was awesome. It was like a really productive use of our time.
Huh.
And yeah, it was great. But, we did that. And the reason we were able to do that is because the roads were clear and no one was out because of the idiocy of Black Friday.
Right. Which is, I mean, there are certain advantages if you know how to do it the right way, which is basically just do everything but shop.
I know, seriously.
Like, dude, restaurant reservations on Black Friday, amazing.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Best day ever to be out there like at a restaurant because I mean everybody's shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do that on Thursday. You're a dick if you go out on Thursday. But on Friday, go out, and you can get great reservations, and even at some of the most prestigious restaurants or whatever,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I think that's what I want to encourage everyone listening to do. Just go do something fun. Don't get stuck up, buying meaningless possessions. I mean, I feel like the only things you should be buying on Black Friday, and I'll close with this. The only thing you should be buying on Black Friday is probably food and like little tickets for entertainment and my book. You should definitely go buy my book. Everyone in the cinema with me on Amazon. Go buy it. Enjoy it. Anyways, I want to thank Caleb for coming on via satellite. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the MCS1 Show. For bi-weekly episodes on society and counterculture, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. For regular updates, show notes, and links, head to the MCS1Show.com or search AOL keyword MCS1.
Okay, we're off.
Got him.
Yeah. Did you see the show schedule?
Let me pull it up right now. Okay. Yes.
So I got this. This is the show schedule for next year.
Right.
And I don't have it all done yet, but it's mostly done.
Sweet.
But I got some fill-in room on here in case, VidAngel does something stupid again.
Of course.
I'm waiting for them to fuck up.
I mean, just give them a few minutes, I guess. I don't know.
Seriously, but we got some good stuff coming up on here, and you can tell from looking at it.
Yeah, which should be honestly a good reprieve for people if they want to get away from all of the friggin' sexual assault allegations.
Oh crap! I better get rid of some of those.
Good God! I mean, dude. Charlie,
oh no! I got shows related to the honor code.
That's different though. Well, I mean, it's kind of the same, but not really. I mean,
yeah. I hear you.
I'm talking about like celebrities and politicians and.
Oh gosh, no kidding. I mean, seriously, it is just
those.
It's just coming out of the woodwork. I mean,
dude, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is so crazy.
And like, it's kind of funny. So I've been thinking about this and trying to figure out like why now. What exactly is going on that makes this a big deal now? And honestly, I'm kind of stumped, but I have a couple of theories. I don't know though.
I think it's just like once one person. It's like it was like the woodwork.
Well, but the thing is,
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby was forever ago, and
yeah, but why not then?
Exactly, why not then? And then,
those random allegations against Trump during the election, like where those go?
Yeah, I mean, most of those. Let's be serious. Those, dude, I've followed this for a long time, and that's kind of one of the tactics that certain politicians use, and mostly from the left, but a lot of times from the right too. It's basically just like pay somebody to allege that they did something to discredit them in some way, and I don't know if those things are wrong or right about Trump. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were right. I wouldn't be surprised if they were wrong. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to be honest.
No. I'm the same way. My thing is, it's like, well, when those came out, where were all these allegations then?
Exactly.
For everyone else, like, why not?
Right.
Why is the revolution now? When there's all these other times that it could have came up.
Well, and the other thing that's funny to me, especially when it relates to Harvey Weinstein, is, that's actually kind of like if you look back, there are a lot of shows from the mid 2000s, especially, that joke about that. 30 Rock does a bit on that. What's it called? Freaking, oh, geez, what's the other
Liz
one?
Lemon, I don't want to get sexually assaulted.
No. There's one where Jenna actually says, like, she's like, I'm so popular that I actually resisted Harvey Weinstein's sexual advances. Well, and she says, and then she goes on to say, well, 3 out of 5 times at least.
Oh God.
So there's that one, and then there was what's her name? Amber Rose wrote for an episode of something, and she talked about that. And I don't know. I mean, it's something that, like, apparently, dude, it's been going on for, obviously decades. With
Well,
that guy.
yeah. My thing is I guess he just crossed the wrong crew.
Well, dude, you know who it was, right? It was Rose McGowan. She's the one that came out and was like, "I'm not going to be silenced," and honestly, I had no idea who she was. I had to look up who she was, and then I was like, "Oh, she's still alive?" I'm serious, because she hasn't done anything. I mean, she hasn't been on anything that I know of since Charmed, which, I mean,
yeah.
I honestly didn't even know she was on that. So anyway, but I think for her, and at least this is the way that she puts it, is that she finally reached a breaking point, just because there were a lot of people that Harvey Weinstein especially said, well, Trump's disgusting and he did all of this, and she was finally just like, okay, yeah, Trump's disgusting, but so are you,
Yeah.
and so she came out and did all of her things. Alyssa Milano came out and corroborated her stories, which, I mean, I don't like either one of them. I kind of wish that both of them were wrong, because they both bother me, but that's beside the point. And then with the stuff with like Kevin Spacey, and it's like, Corey Feldman, though. I mean, Corey Feldman's been trying to get this stuff to light for almost 20 years now, dude, and that's the one that kind of upsets me, honestly, is that it's like, I mean, he's been talking about this since 1993,
Yeah.
and that's like, I mean, the guy couldn't get a platform for 24 freaking years. And the thing about it is like, because I even was like, well, why didn't you bring this up earlier? And then I looked into it, 'cause when he came out a couple months ago, and was like, these are the people that did this, these are the ones that did this, these are the ways that I was sexually assaulted and all this. And then the reason I didn't want to believe him is because Sean Astin came out in support of him, and I fucking hate Sean Astin. And so I was like, yeah, anybody that's a douche. The funny thing is, I really don't have a reason to not like him. I just can't stand him. I don't have a reason.
I know what you mean. That's kind of how I feel about Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I freaking
kind of. I mean, he can't say a joke without laughing. His delivery is pretty bad on things.
And it's honestly kind of the same way that I feel about Stephen Colbert. I've never really thought he was funny. The only thing that I liked about Stephen Colbert was his absolute nerdiness when it comes to Lord of the Rings. And I love that about him. Everything else about him and his comedy, or whatever the hell you want to call what he does, I'm just kind of like, dude, you're not really very funny. You try to be edgy, but honestly, at this point, it's not really edgy to make fun of Trump. Everyone's doing it.
I know, seriously.
Well, and that's my thing, is that it's like, you want to be really edgy, Hillary, and like
whoa.
Do what friggin' Kate McKinnon did. Like, I actually started watching some of her bits, and I've grown, like you said, I actually did it based on your recommendation, and I've actually grown to respect her a little more. I still think she's not very funny in most things, but when she's doing Hillary, she's pretty edgy, man. Like, she's really not hold back.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon, like, she's interesting.
Yeah,
like the new Ghostbusters movie, which I we talked about.
Yeah.
I went in with the expectation I wasn't going to enjoy her character,
and
then like I enjoyed hers the most, and hers was just weird and just out there. I mean, granted, it wasn't a great movie. Oddly enough, for some reason, I have that movie on my iTunes account.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know how it got there.
Whatever, man.
Either. I think it came with another movie somehow.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Because when my family gets movies, they always give me the digital code because that's how I watch things. I'm not a DVD or CD or Blu-ray guy anymore. I'm all digital.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
And if I get a CD, I rip it off into WAV format. But yeah, so they gave me the codes, and I'm just like, sweet, But now Ghostbusters is on there. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, it's not
not like I'm gonna watch.
I mean, it's not like it's like a big deal or anything. But
yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie.
Yeah, or honestly, and this is still today. If you want to be edgy, make fun of Obama. Nobody is willing to make fun of Obama.
I like Obama, so I'm not doing it. I make fun of him a little bit here and there.
Well, and and to be honest, I mean, like him, hate him, whatever. But if you're not willing to make fun of him, then at that point, I'm just kind of like, all right, so, basically, then what it is, and this is the thing that I've told some of my friends before, and if you're unwilling really to realize that you can't make fun of someone, basically what that means is that you worship them, and at that point, it's like, all right, then you're a shill, and I can't really have a conversation with you.
Well, sorry, I worship Obama.
Well,
he's kind of been out of the spotlight since he's left the White House, and
but the thing is that you have been willing to make fun of him, though.
I was totally joking. I totally make fun of him. Yeah, I make fun of him. And nothing's really sacred to me anymore.
Well, and dude, honestly, nothing should be so sacred that you can't make a joke about it. Like anybody that's humorless about something, they've gone too far, and that's the point where it's like, well, it's the same thing. Like, the thing that bothers me the most about, especially like modern day leftists, is that it's the whole like, well, we can't make fun of Obama because he's black or Hillary because she's a woman, and it's like, well, that's stupid. If you can't make fun of something, then basically what you're doing is you're killing comedy, and comedy is like it's the salt that gives life meaning to me, because it's like, I mean, laughing, like, yeah.
All I can think of is salt.
Get it?
All I can think of is
what I did there.
Yeah, all I can think of is salt is freaking Merlin yelling at nerds after an Overwatch match.
But see, that's funny though. You know what I
mean? It's so funny. It's so funny.
But that's my thing though, is that it's like, like all this outrage over Dave Chappelle making jokes about trannies, and it's like, dude, but if it's funny, it's funny.
Tranny.
And then
now that's a word I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, well, you'll hear it more, I'm sure. Or like he made probably the first rape joke that I thought was hilarious. It was about Bill Cosby.
Oh my gosh, yes, from the new special.
Yeah, the new special. He rapes, but he saves.
He rapes, but he saves. Man,
dude,
that was
so funny.
It was so jacked up, but his delivery was so good,
dude. And
he kept building it up the whole time, and you're just like,
yeah,
what does this have to do with it? At the very end, he's just like, he just does the punchline, and I'm just like, oh man, that is. Gosh, it's just genius.
He's a comedic genius. And like the fact that he still has the gift after so many years out, it's incredible. I mean, he wrote that show. He writes all these shows.
He doesn't.
He was a genius.
I mean, you don't really lose that unless like you're getting a ton of yes men.
No, and he definitely
and he did not get a ton of yes men.
I was gonna say
he got the opposite.
I don't think there was ever a time that he was getting yes men. I mean,
no, he was not. He was not getting no Kanye treatment.
No,
he was not.
Definitely not.
You see the announcement? He's got another Netflix special coming.
I'm so happy, dude.
Yeah,
and I hope. And honestly, I just want him to stop giving Amy Schumer deals. I watched her show and it was cringy, dude.
Did you watch the Leather special?
Yes.
Dude, bro. So I was going through it with my old roommate. We were just like channel surfing,
Sure.
Well, through Netflix, I guess. And he's like, Mark, you want to watch it? And this was after all the reviews had come out. This is like days later. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. And like, here's the thing. I'm willing to give most things a chance.
Sure.
But this, I was already just so jaded. And it's not that I'm not like an Amy Schumer fan. It's just I'm not an Amy Schumer fan. I guess that's the only way to put it.
No, and to be honest, like I
And
mean,
it's not that I hate her by any means. I'm just like, yeah, you're not my type of comedy.
well, number one, there's that, and number two, dude, she's a joke thief, and
So yeah,
and
I mean the Dane Cook of
of women, yeah, of women
of
comics,
female comics.
yeah.
That's
Which
I think I've heard her call that by someone actually, so I can't even claim the originality on it. Am I a joke thief myself? Am I the Amy Schumer of male comedians? That's not
no,
Dane
because
Cook.
you're not claiming credit. Like that's the thing is like
Oh,
Patrice O'Neill. Patrice O'Neill before he died, he would come out and say she stole that from me, she stole that from me, she stole that from me, and then he dies like 6 months later, and I'm like, wait, is Amy connected to the Clintons? What did he know?
I was just gonna say that. Just gonna say that. You stole my bit. You stole my bit.
It's like the Mo Sizlak kills the
Yeah,
original
killed the
Alfalfa.
original Alfalfa. Well, yeah, dude. So I'm playing Overwatch the other night, and when I win a match and someone's salty, or just if we lose and someone's salty, I just say bitter, bitter chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And friggin' Merlin says it.
That dick.
And I'm just like, you stole my bit. You stole my bit. And he totally got the reference. But that kid, his best line that he's had, the best one that he's had that's been my favorite is let's all give a huge hand to my shit team.
That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I want to take that and put it on like some really pretty calligraphy font with like a pink background and sell it as like an inspirational quote to be put up in someone's home.
Do it.
I might.
It's like those demotivational posters.
Kind of. It's like the live, laugh, love, but lamer.
Yeah. Dude, I saw one the other day that made me laugh so hard. It was like, even if you're 1 in a million, that means that there are another 100 million or 700 million people just like you.
Oh,
and I was like, got him. Or sorry, 70 million, not 700 million. But I was like, well, yeah. Or no, yeah. I was like, yeah, they're right. You're useless. So funny.
No individuality love from Kayla.
Nope. Well, I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like okay. While I think that everybody is unique some way or another, I also think that 95 of every person that exists, 95% of that person has been derived from other things.
I believe that. I totally get that. That's kind of how I.
And people will say, well, that 5%, that's not very much. And it's like, well, of course it's not. But, if you think about it, we're 98% like a chimpanzee. That 2% isn't very much, but look at the differences it makes,
Yeah,
and so, yeah, people are different. And that 5% does cause a huge difference between them. But, 95% of them is just, miniature carbon copies of everyone that they come in contact with. And that's and that's where the idea basically where it comes, where they say, you are essentially the 5 most, or sorry,
the Tim Ferriss.
Right.
You are the sum of the 5. Yeah, right, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with a lot of things Tim Ferriss says.
Which I don't agree wholeheartedly with. However, there is some merit.
I can see it. I totally get it. I get where he's coming from, but I don't really see it because a lot of people I try to hang out with people that are kind of different from me. Like my best friend from high school I hang out with, he's a blue collar guy and I am totally not.
Yeah. Well, and I think again, like what he's talking about too, more than anything else. I mean, if you dive into it, it's a little bit more on the the way you process information, the way that you absorb it, the way that you react to it, and the way that you interact in your daily life with people. However, once again, I think that as a general rule, that can be true for most people, but it's definitely not true for every person. And I think that he needs to definitely acknowledge that that's not an absolute truth for everyone.
I can see where it would be because, like, let's say I think back to one of my old employers. He was an asshole, and most of
Right.
the people he hung out with were assholes. So
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I mean,
and
that makes complete sense there.
well, and if you think about it, if you, and I don't know if you subscribe to this, I do a little bit, but the idea of chakras are influenced by outside things as well as inside things. Obviously, the inside has the final say. With the kind of energy and aura that you have and are. However, the outside influences can uh, uh, they'll give you basically more opportunity to be one way or another. And whenever I think about that, it's like, yeah, that makes sense, as far as how negativity rots negativity and things like that, and I think that, if you're around super negative people all the time, then yeah, you're more susceptible to be negative, but it
Oh,
doesn't mean you're
totally.
going negative. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the thing. I think what it should be is, you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most or whatever, or that you associate with the most, as a general rule, but not as a
Absolute rule.
exactly, not as an absolute rule, because I think, if that were true, then there are a lot of people that would have never existed. At least, in the capacity
Yeah,
that they
I would
existed.
I would say for like BYU students in Happy Valley though,
It's
it's like
pretty true.
it's pretty true for like all of them. Like,
However,
their 5 friends are a
however, though, I
carbon
mean,
copy of their other 5 friends. It's like they'd rather hang out with copies of themselves
well,
than
and
anyone different.
that's just comfort zones, and everybody has a comfort zone, and everybody wants to, people want to be
Yeah.
validated, which, when I first realized
Gosh.
that about myself, I was like, yeah, I don't really like that anymore. Being validated makes me feel sad. I need to find people that disagree with me and then, argue because it's fun.
I don't know,
Um,
Caleb. It doesn't really seem fun.
it's pretty fun.
Is it? I'm just
I mean,
kidding.
it's one of the things that motivated me to study a lot, because then whenever they would say stupid things, I'd be like, nah, you're wrong. Here's why. but but I need to probably get over that because people aren't going to want to be around me.
Eh, eh.
You know?
I'm listening to Scott Adams' book,
Uh-huh.
the Win Bigly,
The Win
and
Bigly, I love. Oh, dude.
gosh,
Scott
it's
Adams.
it's all about persuasion and how Donald Trump became president and everything. And I love Scott Adams. I'm a huge Scott Adams fan.
How
Like
is the
my
book, by the
Twitter
way?
pal before I deleted Twitter. What'd you say?
Yeah. How is the book, by the way?
It's really good. I'm 2 chapters in. Really funny. Scott Adams is a genius. He's really funny. His punchlines are always good. He's like, I got the audiobook, so he's reading it.
Sure.
And mentions on there, he's talking about how all of us, like people, we always think we're the smart ones, and if people disagree with us, they're total idiots. But what makes someone more qualified than another person? Well, is it because they study? He goes, well, let's go to politicians. They probably don't have more knowledge than you do, but they say they do.
Well, that's actually something.
They don't have enough to make an educated response.
Right.
It's like
that you mentioned that too, because I was actually talking about that today with a friend. But continue. Sorry.
No, and that's pretty much my point. It's like, people just think, well, if this person disagrees with me, they're an idiot.
Right.
Type of thing. And I totally get that. My thing is like when people disagree with me, I always kind of think, why did they disagree with me? And I take into account their background, their upbringing, and stuff like that. But I'm extremely analytical with things like that, and most people aren't to the level that I am of detail.
Right.
I'm not saying it as like a high up thing. I'm saying it as more of like it sucks kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's kind of how I feel when I discuss economics with people. It's
I'm not an economics guy. I mean, my
sure.
Here's what I know about economics. It was not really even know. Yeah, it's just a cheap joke. What was the guy's name? The guy who came up with the Keynesian theory of economics.
Okay. Freak.
Something Keynes. I don't know. We got to Google this.
I want to say Thomas, but I know I'm wrong.
Thomas?
Because it's Thomas Paine that I'm
thinking. It's Thomas Paine. All right, hold up. I'm good.
Oh gosh, dang it! What was his name? I know who you're talking about though.
The Keynesian theory person, I guess. I don't know. Here, Keynesian theory. All right, let me see here. I cannot believe we're looking this up right now. Product of the Great Depression. No, I don't want to know the theory. I want to know who. John Maynard Keynes.
There we go.
I thought that was his name, but I was afraid it was like, James Maynard Keenan. It sounded too familiar to the lead singer of Tool. But anyway, John Maynard Keynes. I was talking with it was with one of my friends and this other friend in community college, and we were discussing this in economics class, and I was like, yeah, we watched a video about this guy, and I'm like, really? I was like, yeah, it was awesome. It was like it was like a black and white one. It's like, it was like a silent movie thing, and it like shows them, and there's like a guy narrating. It's like John Maynard Keynes found a way to bring back the economy after the Great Depression. It like shows him like thinking and like writing stuff down, and all this, and like all this
like
other
a nerd
stuff,
montage,
like a nerd montage, and then all of it gets worse. And then like all of a sudden it's like he has like a light bulb above his head, and like he has it, and then it shows him with a ton of prostitutes.
Oh my god!
Like he's a pimp, and all of a sudden he has like a diamond cane, and like him and the prostitutes all walk outside, and then like he starts talking, and then like he goes through that silent movie text, and it says to the streets, and then it goes back to him. He says one word, and then comes up and says bitches.
That's awesome.
And so we were making it out like he was the way that he got the economy back up was through prostitution.
I mean,
or something stupid like that.
Who knows?
Yeah,
the thing that I was talking about today with my buddy though is it's so funny when we elect politicians to take care of certain things that they have absolutely no expertise in.
Yeah.
Like
Rick Perry with anything.
It's like the fact that the president is the commander in chief of the military is silly. It made sense for Washington.
And a couple people after who were generals.
Sure. I mean, okay.
Like General JFK. That was what?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Eisenhower, he had.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I'm
I
sure
didn't want to give a real example.
Fair enough.
I mean, I thought General JFK would get a laugh or at least a chuckle.
But you get my point though, right? It's like
totally.
And then I mean, we put him in charge of things like infrastructure, and it's like, yeah, I think that their experience with roads is driving on them. I don't.
And even then, let's be real.
Well, and when you think about it too, it's like it's not even just a thing on the big global scale of it. It's a big thing when it comes down to even local politics. Like the guys that we elect into like the city planner position, that guy more than likely has no experience. And hate to give Provo some credit, but one of the things that they actually have written into their city code is that they can't elect someone to be city planner that hasn't either been an architect for over a decade or been to architecture school, so that they understand at least a little bit how to plan something. And I was like,
I don't want to give Provo props, but I might have to on that.
I mean, for that one thing, I kind of have to be like,
there's one simple trick.
All right, you guys got me there. Because honestly, people always say, well, I can't tell the difference between Orem and Provo. I'm like, because I can drive in Provo safely and it's not confusing. But when I drive in Orem, I'm really confused as to why Main Street isn't a straight freaking line.
I don't know. As someone that was mostly a pedestrian, I was Provo, but that's because I was always next to BYU.
Well, and that's one thing. So BYU, because it's private property, they technically have no jurisdiction. But when you look at other portions of Provo, for one thing, I mean, it's very well organized as far as where businesses are allowed to be, where certain things pop up.
Aside from the garage sale moms.
Well, that's not something that the city planner really takes care of, though. You know what I mean? That's another.
They should like
the local government
go up to those moms and be like, "Listen, bitch, you can't peddle your shit here." And then flip over her table of doTERRA.
I wish they would do that. I wish
just shake them down like the mob. All I want is a little mob justice in Provo. Is that too much to ask?
Honestly, if America was run by the mafia, I feel it would be a little bit more moral at this point. But no,
dream.
but my but like when you like, okay, when you drive in Provo though, like things make sense where they are. When you drive in Orem, it makes no freaking sense where the things are located. Like why we have 2 McDonald's literally in the same parking lot off of University Parkway.
Gosh,
how does that make sense to anybody?
Okay, so here's another question. Did that big center divide on University? Did they ever put in that damn bus lane?
Yeah, they did. They did.
They also thought, so the rumors were legit that I heard.
Yeah, but here's the thing though about that bus lane. It's not properly spaced. It doesn't actually fit the entire bus inside of it.
Oh boy.
And so honestly, it's basically it's useless. It shouldn't really even be there. Like it's garbage. It's garbage.
So it's basically like Happy Valley, period. There's not much space to move. It's useless and it shouldn't be there.
Yep.
And it doesn't serve any good proper functions.
Well, it doesn't do what it's
mission accomplished, boys.
Do.
We can go home.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is where I'm just kind of like, and again, I hate to give Provo credit as much as you do, but as far as city planning goes, they at least have the right premise. Now, they've had bad city planners in the past, and you have to, I have to point that out. But for the most part, the way that city is outlined, the way that the flow of things there is pretty phenomenal, in a lot of ways. The closer you get to BYU, the more chaotic it is, but that's just a population issue. City planning really can't do a lot with that.
I think that's also a BYU issue.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, and that's the thing is, it's like it's the same thing with Orem. The closer you get to UVU at this point, too, the crazier it gets. And so it's like,
it does get crazier, but I think BYU's way worse just because.
Well, I agree.
It's a lot of things. I don't just agree it's the population, but I agree it's the type of population.
Yeah. Also, yes.
Also there too, and it's a lot of things. Like I just know the closer I get to BYU, the lower my self-esteem gets. But no, really, like this is a legit thing. I talked about this on the Everybody is a Sinner But Me show that I recorded last week with Casey and Mikey that's airing next week.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to say I didn't see that up, but
no. Yeah, it's coming up. And I talked about how when I was at right next to BYU, I noticed I didn't notice at the time, but my self-worth and self-esteem, it just kind of went down because I was just talked down to all the time. Granted, I stood up for myself and a bunch of other things.
Sure,
but when I got but when I got back to my old apartment complex that I was living at, within a day or two, I was just like, man, I'm just noticing something. It was like I just felt better about things.
Sure.
Because I wasn't next to BYU and I was dealing with a slightly different group of kids.
Right. No, that makes sense.
It was just terrible being there. And I started thinking more and more about it. And I noticed the closer I got to BYU campus, the lower my self-worth and self-esteem got.
Right.
I didn't notice it for a long time because it subtly and slowly wears you down.
Right.
Everything. It's not like a
virus.
It really is. It is a lot like a virus. It just infects you and it slowly wears you down. And it's not to a gradual shift to where people are like, hey man, are you okay? It's just slowly taking you down. And if people don't see you very often, and then they see you once, a couple years later, a couple months, they're just like, man, are you doing okay? And I didn't notice this, but I got a lot of it when I was coming back to visit. People would ask me are you liking out there? Are you doing okay? I'm like, well, yeah, why? And they're like, well, no reason. I just don't think they knew how to present that to me.
Well, and it's hard to bring up,
to be perfectly honest,
yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say oh, you know what, dude, you look awful. Yeah.
Well, now that I'm out of there. Well, even when I was there, in Provo, but the thing is, no one's talking about this,
right?
And I don't know why. I don't really get everyone fucking afraid or something. I mean, I don't know. It just blows my mind that no one wants to talk about this. And when they do, they get shamed. or whatever. And it's like, dude, this is the truth. This is what's going on.
Right.
And, yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not gonna stop me from talking about it. I mean, this is the torch I've picked up or started.
Right. Well, and I mean, at the very least, what it comes down to is, I mean, you got out and you're feeling good. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Like it's a ridiculous transformation.
Awesome. No, that's great, man. That's great. Have you ever thought about going back to Mexico?
I've never been to Mexico. What? From something or
no? I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
I'm like, I've never been to Mexico. Never left the country. I'm just like,
oh man, dude, it's really funny. Okay. I have to be totally. So I went to Guadalajara, in Mexico a couple of years ago, and when we got off the plane, and we started driving, I was like, are we in Mexico or is this like just San Diego? Like, where are we?
San Diego.
Because so I've been to San Diego a couple of times, and it looked exactly like inner city San Diego looks exactly like inner city Guadalajara. Like they look exactly the same.
I hear this phrase inner city, and I just think heavily gang fortified. No matter what, like you could be like inner city Provo, and I would just
that's a silly thing to say. Inner city Provo. That's
but that's how my mind works. It's like what overrides what? All the stereotypes I know about Provo are true, or the triggering words inner city being gang fortified. Which one which one wins more in my mind of the perception of Provo?
So it's funny, and this like, okay, this is gonna sound really weird, but take it with an open mind. But Provo is actually experiencing an influx of gang violence over the last 6 months.
I believe I believe that because when I was working in student housing, we had some people coming by tagging our dumpster as part of our I think it was our clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
As well, weird. And like a couple other things. It was like, what are you kids trying to prove? This is Provo.
Yeah, that's weird.
This place peaked in the 80s. What are you trying to be, man?
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird. But yeah, it's just, I mean, and I'm not gonna try to paint a picture of it's like, oh, it's so rough living in Provo. But I mean,
I always referred to sidewalk chalk as Utah graffiti.
Well, even when you see Utah graffiti, it's pitiful.
Oh yeah, totally.
It just looks stupid. It looks like two children found somebody's spray paint can, and then basically used their penises to write something.
Gosh,
that's because it's
kind of how I feel
it's
about when they play with sidewalk chalk too. It's the same type of thing. It's just instead of using sidewalk chalk, they're using spray paint.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go do some shopping. But
all right, cool beans. All right, we'll go over these the show schedule and we'll be chatting it up in Discord.
Totally.
All right, later, man.
All right, man. Take it.